Hey guys, tonight, close your eyes and imagine yourself in another time, far away from the world you know now. You are standing at the edge of a medieval village somewhere in Europe, centuries ago. The evening air is cool, and the sun is setting low over the fields of wheat and rye. Your journey is about to begin, and with it, an adventure that will carry you across lands you've only heard about in hushed whispers or wandering tales. You don't have a car or a train or even a reliable map. Instead, you have your own 2 feet, maybe a mule or a small horse if you are lucky, and the quiet determination of someone ready to see what lies beyond the horizon. The road ahead is not paved. It is little more than a track beaten into the earth by countless other travelers, pilgrims, merchants, peasants, and dreamers who passed this way before you. You take one last look back at your village. The cottages with their thatched roofs seem to huddle together as if clinging to safety. Smoke curls lazily from chimneys. Chickens wander in the yard, and children run after each other in dusty lanes. Somewhere, a blacksmith's hammer rings out, slow and steady like a farewell bell. Your neighbors nod to you as you pass, some wishing you safe travels, others simply curious why you would leave the comfort of the familiar to step into the unknown. Your pack feels heavy on your back. Inside, you have only what is essential: a woolen cloak, a few loaves of hard bread, a small knife, a flask of water, and perhaps a keepsake from home: a tiny wooden cross, a scrap of cloth embroidered by someone you love, or a small pouch of herbs to keep away illness. Every item has weight, not just in your bag, but in your heart. The road begins quietly. The first steps away from the village are slow, almost hesitant. The ground is uneven, rutted by cartwheels with puddles left from yesterday's rain. Each step squelches softly in the damp soil. The sound of the village fades behind you. Voices growing distant. The clatter of hooves on cobblestones replaced by the gentle whisper of the wind across open fields. Soon it is just you, your breath, and the long stretch of earth beneath your feet. You walk past farmland, where peasants bend low to cut wheat with curved sickles. They barely look up. Travelers on the road are common, and life must go on. Beyond the fields, hedgerows rise, and the path narrows into a shaded lane. The air smells of damp leaves and wood smoke. A crow calls from somewhere above, its harsh cry echoing between the trees. You pull your cloak tighter around your shoulders. The journey has truly begun. The first night comes sooner than you expect. In the Middle Ages, days feel shorter, not because the sun sets earlier, but because your body tires quickly. You are not used to such constant walking. The sky deepens into purple, and a scatter of stars appears overhead. You search for a safe spot to rest, away from the road, but not so deep into the forest that you risk the dangers hidden there. You find a small clearing where the grass is soft and the ground is dry. You sit down, unwrap your bread, and chew slowly. It is hard but filling. A few drops of water from your flask taste cool, almost metallic, as if drawn straight from a stone well. Around you, the world is quiet, except for the distant hoot of an owl and the rustle of small creatures moving unseen in the undergrowth. You feel both comforted and uneasy. The night sky above seems vast, endless, as though it could swallow you whole. Lying down, you rest your head on your bundle. The ground is not soft, and your cloak is thin, but exhaustion pulls you into stillness. Your mind drifts, wondering what lies ahead. Perhaps you will meet other travelers. Perhaps you will cross mountains or rivers, or find yourself in cities with tall walls and busy streets. Perhaps you will see things so strange and new that your village life will feel like a dream left behind. And yet, as sleep pulls you closer, you also think of home. The voices of those you left behind seem to murmur in the night air, reminding you of their faces, their laughter, their warmth. You wonder if they too are thinking of you, imagining where your feet may carry you. This first night on the road is the hardest, not because of danger, but because of the weight of leaving. But soon it will become routine. The rhythm of waking with the sun, walking as the world slowly changes around you, and resting when the stars return. Tonight, though, it is still new, and every sound, every breath, feels like part of a great mystery you are only beginning to unfold. As you close your eyes, the thought comes softly. You are no longer just a villager. You are a traveler, and the road has claimed you. The morning comes gently. A pale light filters through the mist that clings to the grass and the trees. Around you, your body is stiff from sleeping on the hard earth, but you stretch slowly, rub the sleep from your eyes, and listen. The forest is waking. Birds begin to call in uneven bursts. Sparrows, thrushes, and the deeper caw of rooks circling above the treetops. Somewhere far away, you hear the creak of a wooden cart, the slow groan of wheels on dirt. But when you look toward the road, you see nothing but mist. You step back onto the path, your cloak brushing damp branches. The dirt road is uneven, full of stones and ruts, and the night's dew has left it slick. With each step, your boots sink a little, clinging to the mud. The road bends and winds, curving between fields, hedges, and groves, never straight, as though it deliberately hides what lies ahead. Sometimes you walk beside open stretches of farmland, where the green is bright and unbroken. Other times the path narrows into dark corridors of trees, roots twisting across the ground like old bones. You notice how quickly the world changes around you. One moment you are in open air, with the sun warming your face, and the next you are swallowed by shadow beneath tall oaks and beeches. In these woods, the air smells different, richer, damp with moss and fallen leaves. The silence is deeper too. Every twig that snaps beneath your foot echoes louder than you expect. You begin to walk softer, cautious, as though the forest itself is listening. The track itself bears the memory of others who have come before. You see hoof prints pressed into the soil, the faint trace of cartwheels worn deep into stone, and even the outline of barefoot steps hardened in dried mud. It comforts you to know that many others have passed here, but it also reminds you that the road is never truly yours alone. Hours stretch on in a rhythm of footsteps. Your breath becomes steady, your body warming with movement. At times the forest opens, revealing wide meadows with wildflowers swaying in the breeze. Bees hum lazily among them, and the sweet smell of clover drifts into the air. You pause, not because you must, but because the beauty of it feels rare, worth remembering. Standing still, you let the wind move over you, carrying the faint scent of wood smoke from some far-off hearth. But soon the path draws you back. In the Middle Ages, roads were not places of ease, but of endurance. Every twist of the dirt track reminds you how far you must go. The path dips suddenly into hollows where water pools, then rises again up small ridges where stones press through your soles. At times, thorn bushes press in from both sides, their sharp branches snagging your cloak, demanding you pull free before you can move forward again. By midday, the forest grows thicker. Sunlight barely pierces the canopy. Shafts of pale light filter down, catching in drifting motes of dust. You feel enclosed, as though the world has narrowed to this single winding lane. The sounds of the forest, birds, insects, The distant crack of branches become companions in place of human voices. Sometimes you imagine footsteps behind you, though when you glance back, you see only the empty road twisting into shadow. You begin to notice signs carved into the landscape, marks on tree trunks, small piles of stones left at crossroads, even rough wooden shrines with weathered figures of saints or painted symbols. Travelers leave these not just as guides, but as prayers, pleas for safety, for luck, for protection from the unseen. You pause at one such shrine. A wooden figure, half worn by rain, tucked into a hollow of an oak. A withered wreath of flowers hangs around its neck. You place a hand upon the wood, whispering nothing but letting your silence be the offering. The afternoon stretches long. The forest becomes a maze of bends and slopes, and you realize how easy it would be to lose yourself here. Roads in this time are not like the straight, sign-marked routes of the future. They split without warning, vanish into the undergrowth, or are blocked by fallen trees. You choose carefully, following the deeper ruts, trusting that the most worn path is the safest. Still, each choice carries weight. You know stories of travelers who strayed and never found their way again. Eventually, the trees thin, and the path opens once more into rolling hills. You climb one slowly, your legs aching, but when you reach the crest, the view makes you pause. Before you lies a wide valley, patchworked with fields and scattered cottages, streams glinting like silver threads. Far in the distance, beyond the haze, a faint outline of another forest waits. The scale of the land humbles you. You feel like a small figure on a vast canvas, your journey only a thin line stretching across it. As you descend, the dirt path narrows into a deep track between high banks, carved by centuries of footsteps and hooves. The air is cooler here, and the sound of your movement bounces back to you, as though the earth itself is listening. Time slows. Step by step, you lose track of distance, of hours. The road feels endless, yet strangely soothing. You begin to sense that travel itself is a kind of meditation, the steady rhythm of body and breath, the world changing slowly around you, the future hidden just beyond the next bend. When the evening comes, you feel it first in the shadows lengthening, then in the cool breath of air that sweeps through the trees. Once again, you must think of rest. You find a patch of ground near the path, not far from a trickling stream. Kneeling, you cup your hands and drink, the cold water shocking against your lips, refreshing you deeply. You wash your face, and the fatigue eases just enough to let you settle. The night grows darker, and the forest seems to draw closer. You lay down, listening to the whisper of leaves above, the distant call of an owl, the rustle of unseen animals moving carefully in the undergrowth. Fear hovers at the edges of your thoughts, but fatigue is stronger. Wrapped in your cloak, you close your eyes. Tomorrow, the dirt path will carry you onward again, winding, twisting, leading you deeper into a world that feels endless. And so, the road holds you, gently but firmly, reminding you that every step is part of something greater. The dirt beneath your feet, the trees towering around you, the sky that darkens above, all of it becomes your companion. You are no longer simply passing through. You are part of the journey itself. From the moment you wake, you realize that the sky above will decide much of your journey. In the Middle Ages, the weather is not something to be checked on a screen or predicted. In neat reports, it is a living presence, a companion that walks with you, sometimes kindly, sometimes cruelly. The morning begins with pale sunlight pushing through mist. The damp grass beneath your boots sparkles faintly, each drop of dew catching the light. You breathe deeply, the air cool and clean, and for a moment it feels as though the day promises ease. Sunlight warms your cloak, lifting the chill of the night. Birds scatter into the air, wings flashing against the sky, and you set out with a lighter step. But the weather changes quickly. A cloud drifts across the sun, then another, until the light is muted. Soon the sky darkens, heavy with gray. You hear the first drops before you feel them. A faint pattering on leaves above, then soft specks on your hood. Within minutes, the drizzle becomes a steady rain. The dirt path beneath you begins to soften, turning to mud that clings to your boots. Each step becomes heavier, sucking at your feet, slowing your pace. There is no easy shelter. In this time, roads rarely provide more than a leaning tree or a shallow ditch. You pull your cloak tighter, the wool soaking through slowly but steadily. Cold water runs down your sleeves, dripping from your fingers. You keep walking because there is no choice. Rain becomes part of your rhythm. The steady drum on leaves, the splash of boots, the sound of streams swelling with sudden strength. Sometimes, though, the rain eases, and what remains is a freshness in the air, a smell of earth and growth. The world feels washed clean. The path glistens in patches of weak sunlight, puddles reflecting the gray sky above. Your body aches from dampness, but your spirit steadies, knowing this too is part of the road. On other days, the challenge is not rain, but heat. The sun rises harsh and bright, with no cloud to soften its gaze. The dirt path dries, cracking and dusty. Each breath pulls hot air into your lungs, and sweat runs freely down your face and neck. The wool of your cloak is suddenly unbearable, heavy and stifling, but you cannot discard it. You will need it again when night falls. The countryside under summer sun is both beautiful and punishing. The wheat fields shimmer golden, stretching endlessly, the sound of insects buzzing in the heat. The stones on the road burn through thin soles. You pause often beneath the shade of trees, pressing your back against rough bark, letting your body cool before you continue. Water becomes precious. The flask you carry feels lighter with every sip, and you ration it carefully, aware that the next stream may be miles away. When evening finally comes, the relief is immense. The air softens, and the first stars peek out above a sky still glowing orange and red. You lie down exhausted, the heat clinging to your skin, but grateful that the worst of the day is behind you. Then there are days when the weather turns colder than you imagined possible. You wake to frost stiffening the grass, your breath rising in white clouds. Your cloak, though thick, does little to stop the chill that cuts into your bones. The road beneath your boots is frozen hard, each step ringing against earth like stone. Wind slices across open fields, pulling at your hood, numbing your fingers until you can barely flex them. Travel in cold demands more endurance than strength. Every joint stiffens, every movement feels heavier. You keep walking because the motion itself is warmth, the only defense against the air that bites at your skin. When snow begins to fall, soft flakes at first, then thicker, heavier, the world around you changes. Trees, fields, and cottages vanish beneath white. The road disappears, forcing you to guess your way forward. Your footprints are the only sign of passage, quickly filled again by falling snow. Yet even here, in hardship, there is beauty. Snow muffles the world, softens every sound. The forest is hushed, dreamlike, each branch heavy with delicate white. The silence is so deep you can hear the rhythm of your own heartbeat. The crunch of boots, the only reminder that you are still moving.